Hello, good to see you again. Welcome to Wisdom Nuggets. And this edition, we are dealing with marriage. The last edition, I talked about 7 wrong notions that young people have about marriage. And I'm really concerned about how young Africans think about marriage. I understand what you're going through. I understand the challenges of how you have become bicultural. You know, the Western culture is influencing you through the social media, and you are born into a culture where your parents are role model for you, so you are confused. I understand that. You know what? That's why we're here to help you. You need to have the right understanding. You need to have the right perspective, because what you believe affects how you behave. And that is why we're dealing with your belief. A lot of you, what you believe has led you to wrong conclusion, and you're just looking as if you don't know what to do. Now, this is like marriage 101, that I'm sharing with you. We still go deeper into other issues, but we're laying foundation. Very important. I said marriage must be built on solid foundation. Solid understanding precedes solid foundation, and that also is important for you to have a godly, God-fearing, enduring, and a marriage that will last long. Very important. So let's talk about what are the right notions or understanding that I want you to have about marriage. I gave you 7 wrong ones before. Let's talk about the right ones. Number 1, marriage is God's idea. Now, whether you're a Christian or not, it doesn't matter. We need to, look at Apple. I'm using an iPad now. This Apple is an Apple product. No, we don't need to debate whether it's an Apple that did an iPad or it's Samsung. We know it is Apple product. Nobody debates that. And why will somebody debate about the ownership of marriage? Marriage was created by God. God created marriage. It is God's idea. It is God's creation. It is God's product. iPad is Apple's product. You don't debate it, don't argue it, there's no controversy about it. The same thing, marriage is God's idea. Marriage is God's creation. Marriage is God's product. It's not man's idea. It's not a cultural thing. That's why I told you the other time, it's not a cultural thing. God created marriage before he created culture. He created marriage in a culture, yes, but he created marriage. And so, listen, marriage is God's idea, and it must be seen that way. Number 1 is God's idea. Number 2, because it's God's idea, it is the oldest institution that God created. The church is an institution today, for example, but marriage was created before the church was created. Older than the church. In other words, there is no marriage that is consummated in the church today that should violate God's order. So marriage is God's creation, is the oldest institution. Number 2. Number 3, marriage has manual. Just like I always use my iPad made by Apple. There is a manual that guides me how to use it, how to make the best of this product. It gives me direction. It gives me how to maintain it, how to use it, what to do not to break it, and so on. That is exactly what God did in marriage. The Bible is a manual for marriage. Yes, you may tell me there are other things that we need to use in order to have a successful marriage, but yes, but the main manual is the Bible. Listen to me, young man, young woman. Even if you are not a Christian, read the Bible. If you study it and practice it, you will have a godly marriage. You study it and understand it, you will be able to break through every cultural barriers that have affected marriages today and have made people made a shipwreck of their marriages. Marriage as manual, the Bible is a manual. That's number 3. Number 4, God, the creator of marriage, is interested in marriage. In other words, God wants you to succeed. God does not create a problem. Whatever God created is for good. We can turn it for damage, for destruction. If we choose to do so, that doesn't make God to be responsible for whatever we do with it. Today, marriage has been bastardized. we have turned marriage to become something we want it to become, not what the original creator wanted it to become. Unfortunately, the church has not, done well in this area. Whether you agree with me or not, I can't, hide my belief on this issue of, gay marriage. Gay marriage is not God's idea. It's not. God created them male and female. Genesis 2:18-19. He created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Do you understand that? Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. If God had created Adam and Steve, we wouldn't have had the children that they gave birth to. I mean, simple. If God made them male and male, then that's the end of procreation. If your parents were Adam and Steve, would they have given birth to you? Now, that's, by the way, I don't want to go far into that. So, God is interested in marriage. He has manual for it. I've said that. And the next point I want to say is that the family, which is the marriage description, the family is the smallest unit of the society and the starting point for any good thing or bad thing. In other words, whatever you see that is wrong with any human behavior today, you can trace it to the family. The family is the smallest unit. And there is no society without a family. There is no church without a family. There is no nation without a family. The family is the smallest unit. And whatever happens to the family, affect the entire society, the community, the state, the nation, and the world at large. What we are seeing today in the lives of young people carrying gun, destroying the systems in the society, causing mayhem in our public places, is a product of what we see in marriage. Yes, go and see countries where there is high rate of divorce. You will see the high rate of crimes all over the place. Single parents, no father in their lives, and they live anyhow. They are the ones that join gangs. They are the ones that carry guns. They are the ones that kill. You see shooting here and there. Go and find out those homes. Many of them, if not all, are from broken homes. Marriages broke marriages or broken marriages lead to broken societies. The family is the smallest unit. And the next point I want to make is that it is not God's for man's destruction. Marriage is not for man's destruction. Some people always say marriage is unnecessary evil. No, it's not. In fact, it's for the good of man. If you read the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, God says, it is not good for that man to be alone. We don't know how long the man was alone before God said, look, I've watched this man. He is always alone in the garden, roaming about, doing everything by himself. He's the one cooking for himself. He's the one talking to himself. He's the one, nobody is there to help him. No help me like him. No animals cannot be. There's birds of the air cannot be. Nothing can take the place of a godly wife in the home. He said it's not good for a man to be alone. Listen to me. You have been successful in life. Your career is going on well. You're building a good career. Let me tell you, you are not complete. Yes, you are not complete. Your life is not complete without a man in your life or a woman in your life. That woman or that man completes you, complements each other, makes life meaningful, makes life enjoyable. God created marriage for the good of man, not for the destruction of man. Unfortunately today, we've turned it to become a destruction. People have bastardized marriages. And that's why young men, young people, young women in the society are afraid to go into marriages. They are scared because they see high rate of divorce. I'm going to talk about divorce. God's idea for marriage is not for man to marry one and divorce and get to another one, multiple divorce here and there. Not God's idea, not his original idea. And I'm going to talk about polygyny in the future episode. It's not God's idea either. What you call the wrongly called polygamy is not God's idea. God's idea is for marriage to be enjoyable, to be palatable, to be a complementary relationship. Help where husband and wife live together in holy and enjoyable relationship. You know what? You will have a godly marriage. I pray for you wherever you are. Young men watching me, you will not miss it. You will fulfill your life and fulfill God's purpose for your life in marriage. God bless you. Join me next episode. I'll be talking about how to identify God's choice in marriage. I know that's a controversial one. God bless you. We'll see you then.